Hi everyone and welcome to She. I keep telling you guys I do my work. I take time to find you guys the creme de la creme of guests who will make sure that your journey on motherhood and pregnancy is amazing as we go through this season. And today, you guys just need to send chocolate over. I'll send you the address shortly because I have brought in the guests. Just wait, you'll see. And you know what we'll be talking about? Having multiple children. And that can take different forms. It could be that you've had many kids, how we call them do-re-mi, or that you have multiple children because you've had twins or triplets. I need to hear some people say amen, in case you're looking for that. But it's just amazing being able to have those multiple children. But it also can be a science and art and can be also very overwhelming, So we just felt it would be so great to just have a show where we just talk about how to get that balance, how to figure that out. Does it get overwhelming? What do you do when it's overwhelming? Do you just tell all those children, line up, sit down, leave me alone? I have drawn the line here, don't cross it, I just need my time. Or what do you do? And these ladies will help us talk about that. And one of them brought us a special package as well. She's just showing you how to do this multiple kids thing, in and out of season. So I'll just let you guys introduce yourself. Maybe we can start with you.
Right.
Just tell us a little bit about you.
All right. Thank you, Faith. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
I tried.
Yeah. My name is Shiro Lande. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I have 3 children. I have a daughter who's 7, and I have twins, a boy and a girl.
Wow.
They're 4. And I am in marketing and communications.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
wow.
yes.
So working mom and balancing the babies.
Yes. And working as a consultant makes it a little bit more easy in terms of spending time with them. And recently, with a friend, we started our own business. So we hope it goes far.
Amen.
Yes,
it
amen.
will.
Yeah.
It will. You have many people to introduce. I hope our laughing didn't scare her. She's looking at me in a certain kind of way.
My name is Shiro Ngugi. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I have 4 children.
Wow.
Do-re-mi. So I have a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 4-month-old.
Wait, you might need to just take that again, say that again. Even when I invited you, I didn't think it was that do-re-mi. Yeah. Did you say 5-year-old?
Yes, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 4-month-old.
Wow. Was that your plan?
Well, I was planning to have 7. And
children?
Well, yes, children.
Okay.
The more the merrier. The house is warmer. It's cooler to have so much noise around, so many people to send. So my plan was to have 7. So we're at number 4. Let's see how it goes.
Wow.
Yes. So
That's
I'm
amazing.
in PR and HR. At the moment, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I love it.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love how she's just so calm and just looking at me and looks like she's about to fall asleep.
Oh, yes.
We'll have really won as this show if this baby falls asleep.
I know.
It will just be a sign that, the Lord's presence is here. And, well, even though she doesn't sleep, trust me, the Lord's presence is here with us.
Yes, it is.
And let's just delve into this. I'll be honest with you. When I found out I was pregnant with this baby, and I went in for the ultrasound, the doctor thought it was twins. They're just looking through. Then he's like, "What is this I'm seeing?" Anyway, you come after 3 weeks. I'm like, no. You will tell me right now what you have seen. And he's like, it looks like. Then he goes like, "Is there twins in the family?" And sadly, I have twins in my family. My brothers are twins, and my husband has twins as well. He has I think aunties who are twins. So we're like, well, if we're looking for twins in the family, we can find them.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, let's check 3 weeks later. And I broke down and I cried. I'm like, Lord, I have 3 boys at home. Twins? I'm not sure I can do it. And I think it's quite difficult, like when you think about it, and I guess we need to demystify that. So how was it for you? Also, because you had another child, then finding out you're having twins, did you expect it? Is it in your family? How was that experience for you?
So I didn't expect it.
Yeah?
I didn't expect it. I had my firstborn, my daughter. She was 3, and then now became pregnant. Can I say that ujuajina, I'm an expert at being a parent and pregnancy. So I didn't do those, the ultrasound, right?
Yeah.
So I went with the doctor and he just did the normal check. He just heard one heartbeat and then that was fine. I never thought about it, but my husband kept saying, you know, you look a bit bigger
than the last time.
I didn't like that. You know, I'm like, what do you mean? I look big. Like, you look bigger. That baby looks really big. And I'm like, no.
Check that magnifying glass around
check.
here.
I am the right size, as I should be. So it was when we went for the ultrasound for about 18, 19 weeks,
Yes.
where they're checking the baby, is everything okay? The spine, the liver, is everything functioning well? It was that one, and you know, I was just there with the three of us, me, my daughter, and my husband. It was around December 2018. So she's checking and she's like, so has your doctor said anything about this pregnancy? I'm like, no. She's like, oh, okay.
They ask these questions.
I know. Like, could you start the other way around?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're having twins. But she's like, has your doctor said anything? No. Nothing? No. Do you know anything unusual about this pregnancy? I'm like, no. And so she just turns the screen. Did you know you're having twins? I was like, what?
Oh my
My
God.
husband was super excited.
Oh, no way.
Very excited. I took some time to get there. I was shocked and I was like, yeah, but we're not planning for this, you
Yeah.
know. We don't have the tools. We have one, everything, you know.
And we're planning to just hand down.
Just hand down,
Yeah.
you know. So that's how we found out.
Oh, wow.
I think for me, like for you, I thought twins happen when either I'm a twin or he's a twin, but that was it. But yes, on my dad's side of the family, there are a number of twins. A number of cousins have had twins.
Yeah.
My grandmother had twins. A number of aunties had twins. So it didn't. And so the doctor was like, when there is, he told me that identical twins are like a wonderful fluke of nature, right? It can happen.
Yeah.
He was like, but fraternal, if they run in the family, then it's easier for someone else. You don't have to necessarily have a twin who, like I have a twin sister.
Yeah.
So that was my story.
What was going through your mind?
I think I didn't process,
Yeah.
but it didn't help. People's comments, people are now loading me with their fears.
Yeah.
Hey, what? Gosh, how are you going to handle it? Hey, better you than me. You know, those the kind of comments I was getting a lot. Wow, Shiro, wow.
I think we need to do a whole show on the comments people make when people are pregnant.
Pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are laughing. But like, you know, some of my is like, oi, you know, how are you going to do this? I think people have, babies are wonderful, but we know it's a lot of work.
No, it is.
And I think that's where people are coming from. Like,
all the best to you.
all the best to you. Yeah, are you going to hire 3 nannies? Are you going to do this? And I'm like, no, I think we'll just stay as we are. You know, we'll have a nanny come in when we need. But like, no, you can't do like that. So it was scary. It was overwhelming. But this, I was excited. I really, truly was excited. I was.
That's good.
For me, it was such a blessing. I was truly excited to have them because I never imagined I could have twins. Yeah. So I found it a blessing.
Yeah.
I found a home in a WhatsApp group for multiple moms. And it was just nice to hear from them and just to get that encouragement, because I'll say it's very physically exhausting. It's very physically exhausting. And a lot of them would encourage you and tell you by 30 weeks, you need to start really engaging your mind. You can do it. Otherwise, you'll be at the doctors all the time. I need you to take them out because my body is done. And for sure, I was at my doctor's almost every 5 days. And you know that circular thing they remove, and he's like, no, you're not there. I'm like, no, I think I'm there. I think I can tell you I am there. sleeping
my
was
gosh.
difficult.
Yeah. And I can imagine even just when you're carrying one, like sleeping is difficult. It's heavy and
Yes.
all that. So when it's two, it's like double that.
Yes, you're tired. For lack of a better word, you get a lot of stairs
Oh,
because my stomach was, oh my God, it was
Yeah.
it was really big.
Wow.
It was very big. And everywhere I'd go, I'd just see people
Just looking there like,
moving. My gosh, there was a time I told her, if you take a picture, it will last longer. Because, as in, he's being... He's staring, he's telling his wife, like, look at that one. Like, he's saying just how... Honestly. So, that part was not enjoyable. Like, it's stairs, a lot of stairs. It was a big pregnancy. It really was. And also, everything. You go to a restaurant, you really need to gauge, where do I sit?
Yes.
You can't just go to a place with like the booth setups. You need somewhere with a chair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Even the chair you sit on. I used to enjoy the mornings. Then when the evening would come, I'd feel myself dipping because I knew I was not going to sleep. I couldn't sleep. It didn't matter how hard I tried. I just couldn't sleep. My body was too
and the
heavy.
babies are coming and you're about to not sleep
some more.
Yeah.
So the pain. But the funny thing was, it was an easier pregnancy than my first one.
Oh.
So that one I would say is the grace of God.
Yeah.
It really was the grace of God. Because I
good.
had prayed with my daughter. I had an issue with my pelvis. Could barely walk. Getting to the shower was a problem. Getting out of bed was a problem. My feet, I became so heavy, my feet, they were compromised. But funny with this one, I didn't have any of those pains. Only when it came to bedtime, to sleep, then I had an issue. So yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. And it's so encouraging for any mother who's, whether you're carrying one or multiples, to just know that it ends.
It ends.
It's just a journey. It's difficult, but it ends.
It ends.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just from you, like how has it been managing? Because it's like you have fun. Well, the 5-year-old is older, but the rest are like all newborns. It's like having triplets.
Yes.
And you were telling us like it was it intentional to have that spacing, and how do you manage? And guys, I hope we are seeing that she's fallen asleep right here on She. Don't laugh too hard, she might wake up. I'm joking.
So it was not intentional actually, because funny thing is, all my pregnancies were surprises.
So including the first?
Including the first.
Oh, wow.
So you get into a space, number one has come. You go to the
before you can
doctors.
think.
Shiro, you're expecting. No, I'm not, because you're in the middle of breastfeeding. So you find yourself lacking in one area. You're thinking, I'm pregnant, I still want to rest. I have a toddler in the house. How do I still give the toddler time? How do I balance it with being available for the rest of the family? It is so challenging. But what I did, I just took it in stride. One day at a time, one moment at a time. You need water. Okay, let mommy give you water. And then you also find your space. If they sleep, that notion of they sleep, you don't sleep. You just have to make sure everything is at peace, so that when they wake up, then you're thinking, I can rest as they do their thing. Yeah.
But you're such a super mom. Like, I'm listening to you, and I'm like, the spacing for my kids is a little bigger than yours, and I get so overwhelmed, like, so overwhelmed. And I'm just listening to you saying, just take a day at a time. And, I'm just like, wow, like, it's so amazing. And did you ever reach that point when you're like, maybe I should have given this a better spacing?
Oh, yes.
Does it get to that point where it like gets to your head, or you're just like, because also they're all so small, maybe one will cry wake the other one, have you had struggles with those sort of things?
Oh yeah, I was actually sharing with a friend yesterday how you don't realize that postpartum depression comes in very different forms.
Yeah.
You find yourself yelling at your toddler and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is a toddler. And it's because I don't know how to, today is one of those days, I don't know how to balance. I don't know how to sit and just be. Go fend for yourself. Even mommy can, you know, kind of thing. You want to jitafutia tafadhali, but you have to remind yourself, okay, Wusa, this is a child, as my mom says, little adult, but is a child, so they need you. They also need you to also deal with things that are compromising the situation. Is it hunger? Is it sickness? When they're sick, Doremi, you take them to the hospital one after another and you're feeling.
Oh yes, because what one catches, they will all catch. Yeah.
The other day, I had to take Gia to hospital because she was unwell, and Razi gets a fever. So I had to, you know, use the baby carrier, Jay's in front, and hold Razi's hand. So you're walking in town and people are thinking, are you serious right now? But you have to do what you have to do. And you know, you look for the support where you can. You call your friends, you call your, because that's the only way for motherhood to be doable.
That's amazing. And I guess when you say you do what you have to do, it's like how you've come with Gia for the show, because you know, like I guess if the others need to be taken care of and you need to carry her with you, it's also just figuring out what works for you.
What works for you, And also not to be too hard on yourself. Just give yourself that space to breathe and tell yourself, Shiro, you did a good job. Even when the day is upside down, and at the end of the day you're thinking, wow, there's so much to be done. You know, nannies can only do so much for you, but you're feeling, my hand needs to be in this, needs to be in the other. So just to give yourself that grace of saying, today was not as good as yesterday. But my kids are happy. The rest is history.
What matters. And you know, the other day I was watching a reel. I think that reel like made such an impact. I think I talk about it all the time. And this lady, she's like has all like full head of white hair, and she's just saying, you know, do you ever sit with your friends and talk about when you got potty trained? Do you ever sit with your friends and go like, I could sleep through the night by this age? Or do you ever sit with your friends and go like, my mom breastfed me till I was 2 years? You know, and she just goes through all these things that stress young mothers. And she's like, please, you know, like just, you know, take your time. If for you, your child is still wearing diapers at whatever age, it's fine, you know, and all that. And so I just want to understand from you, do you go through, you know, in the corporate world, we talk about imposter syndrome, but I think it's so real. You know, with motherhood. And apart from this lady, one of the things that I love about this pregnancy is that a lot of the ladies who I've been pregnant with, and this is me being real, a lot of the ladies I've been pregnant with, the other three, I'm not pregnant with them now. And it's so good because I'm not comparing myself with anybody. I know that's embarrassing, but for, like, it's so, like, it's, like this is me just being so real, you know, just so that I don't have to think, gosh, they all have normal births, I don't. Like in terms of vaginal births, and I have a CS. They all, you know, get back into their size. They don't even put on weight. You know, this new thing of calling tummy only, they call it nowadays tummy only pregnancy, where the only thing growing is your tummy. Well, it's not the same case for me. And so it's been so good having to go through this pregnancy without having to compare with anybody. And that just means there's something wrong, you know, because it should be fine, even though I'm pregnant with all these people. So do those things bother you, especially with the multiple kids, the aspect of comparing yourself with other people and comparing the babies as well? You're like, our firstborn walked at 9 months. What's happening? You know, we potty trained this one at this time. You know, what's happening? How have you gone through that? And if yes, how have you handled that? Anyone can go first.
I think for me, I actually realized the other day it's discipline. Because of how we've been raised in church. You know, pastor's wife has shown you how to discipline. You find yourself disciplining your children and you're thinking, wait a minute, that's not their personality. You know, you discipline according to a child's personality. So you find yourself disciplining your child and you're thinking, apana, no,
it's not working.
It's not working for me. You know, and you feel like the other day I was doing a timeout. my son cannot sit still to do timeout. So he's thinking, Mommy, toilet. Because you see, I can't do this.
Just something to do.
But because I've seen it work with a friend, I think, let me do it. But that's not Kayo's story. You know, he's for Mommy Chapa. We're out of here, So I found myself really having to go back to myself and say, no, this is not what is the best thing to do, you know. And also giving myself grace in terms of my body. It's not easy having 4 with a year. Everyone is thinking, Shiro, if you're not pregnant, you're breastfeeding, you know. So
or pregnant and breastfeeding.
So I have to remind myself, Shiro, it is your body. Love the skin you're in, because unless that, no one else will appreciate. Even the baby you're carrying, you're thinking, when will 9 months end? Because you think, I want my body back. And it's not a good space to be in, because that's how now you're thinking, when my daughters grow up, I will tell them about spacing, but you lose track of, can I just enjoy this pregnancy?
And I like that, because I think so many times we are so caught up in those milestones and the perfection and all those things that you forget to enjoy the moment. You know, that just this moment when they're this little and they're just calm and they sleep through a show, you know, kind of thing. I don't know how it's been for you.
So it's actually funny. It was about a few weeks ago. I was actually intentionally looking at my old pictures.
Like old before babies?
Before baby.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. Not really sure. When I was trying to motivate myself, it didn't work out that way. So I was just looking at them and I was like, I just looked and I was like, you know what? I think I should have grace for you. You know, even as believers, grace is still a very difficult thing to work through, even with Christ. You feel like, I need to do something good for you, for me to deserve this grace you've given me. So it was just the other day, I was like, I think I need to have grace for Shiro and what her body has gone through and what her body has achieved and what it looks like on the other side. So I think we don't get enough credit. It isn't easy. You've not slept for a few months before the baby comes. Whether it's a normal or a CS, your body goes through some serious battering. And then the process of breastfeeding, and you're sweating throughout the night, you're bleeding.
And there's also the milk.
You wake up, they sweat, there's milk. But you know, na Johnny tunakula nini. You know those things are still happening. Like people are still, life must go on. It cannot stop. And then, like for me, after I gave birth, my stomach did not go back. And I remember the doctor telling me, I told him, I feel something is off. And he told me, actually, when we removed the babies, we saw there was a very large tear. So
because I guess of carrying them.
Yes. And even my first one, she was big, but it went back. But this one now, the body was like, hey, now, here.
You're by yourself.
Yeah, the house is broken now. It's done. The windows are gone. The doors are done. We are done. The house is done. So,
is it what they call the diastasis?
Yes, the rectal. Yes. So I have rectal diastasis, and then I got a hernia as well, right?
Wow.
So my back is also compromised as well. So I'd say have grace. You know those times when you actually feel you're breastfeeding and they're crying and you're like, I really wish I could swallow you back. You know, like a pill. Like just go back.
The stairs are good enough. It's fine. I can deal with that.
I'm fine. Like I wish I could swallow you. Sleep for 2 hours. Then, but then you think back and you're like, but I can't wait to be on my own again. You know,
and sleep on my stomach.
Oh my gosh, let's not talk about that, because I am missing sleeping on my stomach right now.
So I was like, have grace for her.
And I heard you talk about breastfeeding, and you know, it's one thing to breastfeed one child, and I keep saying it's like, like everyone lied to us because they make it look so easy.
I know.
Just like she did before the show started, it just looks so easy.
So
and then there you are with
dramatic,
your child and you're like, sijui, tummy to tummy and all that. And you're like, how is it? Like, I thought you just put the baby here and the baby feeds.
Yeah.
You know, so how was it now with 2 babies? You know, like, I guess you have to do the whole
have
multiple
to.
thing. And
So you have to have a pillow, even if it's like this one, put them and actually hold.
do you have to have people to help you, right?
Eventually, you just learn to navigate by yourself.
So you just pick one child, you're like, here, pick the
Yeah,
other one.
yes, they're really small.
Oh, yeah?
Multiples are also
Okay,
really
small.
tiny.
Yeah.
So you just learn to pick, and then you hold them here, and then it's quite, it's not easy, but eventually your body actually adjusts. Your
Yeah.
hands, how to position even them, they know how to position themselves, and you just sit like this. The first night I was convinced we came home with 3 babies because I was tired, and my husband kept telling me, the baby needs to feed. At some point I stood up and I'm like, how many are
many
they?
more?
How many are they?
Show me the queue.
Yes, I'm like, this queue is not ending, because I just felt like
Yeah.
all
Oh
the
my
time. I was like, how many are they? I'm like, are they 3? And in my head I actually saw 3.
I can imagine.
So Grace, and I remember even my daughter was like, she was excited when they came home. Then that night they cried. She was like, she woke up, she was like, can you take them back to the hospital? So like those moments, enjoy them. Like you said, enjoy them.
Yeah.
When they're this small, it's more physically exerting. So the time is short. It's just that the days are long because of it.
But even then, it just moves so fast. I have a
so
friend who says kids
fast.
grow like weeds, and it's so true.
It's
like
true.
before you know it, man, they're
Yeah.
running around. They don't want to give you a hug. Like they've just moved on. you
They've
know?
just moved on. So,
Yeah.
but
And
have
how do
grace.
you handle the sleeping? You know, like, because in my mind, I just imagine, you know, like before a child can sleep through the night, they'll wake up at some point.
Yeah.
And if they cry, maybe the other one wakes up. Do you put the one in one corner of the house, the other one in the? I don't know. I always just
The
wonder how that
sleeping-
works.
The sleeping, I think, was. So we tried. You know, it's hard to sleep train. Okay, it was hard to sleep train the first 3 months. They say the cycle, day and night, is not yet clear to them until after about 2-3 months. So that one was that. No, there was no like that. So there are times we'll be with my husband and we're sitting up, and you hear your neighbor showering, getting ready for work.
And you've been awake.
And you've been awake the whole
That's why they just need to do proper paternity leave, because the dads are, man.
Yeah.
As in, you guys have been awake the whole night. You put this one down, the other one has woken up. Put this one down, the other one has already woken up. And they rarely ever slept together. Apart from during the day, when, you know, it's like they know.
Yeah.
Like, well, I
You
mean,
know, I know.
This would
And
be
this
the
thing
best
of
time.
when the baby sleeps, you sleep. It's like so difficult.
It
so
is.
hard.
It is.
Like I always try, but for my 3 kids, it's never worked. And I know for people where it's worked, but for me, it has never
it
worked.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you see, like, we didn't have a living. So you're not sleeping. Who is going to make dinner? There's still a child coming from school. And you need to prepare. You need to get your things ready. You know how you just feel like, let me do this one thing, then I'll sleep.
Yeah.
That one thing turns into
There's
so
too
many
many
little
things.
things.
Yeah.
So no, never used to sleep. But I'm like, why can't you be like this at night? Of course, at night it's playtime. We want to be awake. So we never saw. And then I started noticing, me and my husband, you know, we would become cheeky because you're there holding the baby. Then at some point around 3 a.m., someone is like, I'm coming back. I've gone to use the toilet. Nobody comes back. It was those ones of me, my baby slept. Yours is still
You're still
awake.
awake. You deal with your
hali yako. So you just be left there. So 1, 2, if this other one wakes up, it's you there. But it was exhausting. I couldn't tell days apart, which I think is
Yes.
common with most
Yeah,
moms.
maternity
And I
leave,
think that's
yeah.
what I would say. It's just that it's more than one baby, but you go through the same things. Like,
Yeah.
can't tell the days apart. I'm sure you couldn't
Yes,
tell the
look,
days
yeah.
apart. Is it day? Is it night?
Yes.
When am I meant to be doing this? But imagine there is grace because you
Yeah.
have to do it. Who else is going to do it?
Yeah,
you know.
that's true.
And I want to believe for most people, not all, this baby was wanted.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yeah. So, and and there is still a joy in knowing that you can do it for your child.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I would say. But I didn't have much grace, because like she said, there's a lot of expectation.
Yes.
When people come to see the children, put the tea, put the mandazi, do this, you should be this, you shouldn't, you know how, I don't know if you went through this, where your husband can go to work and find you in the same spot. Like, did you even move? You're in the same spot. I said, have grace for yourself. Have grace. I think that feeling of, I really need to be a performer, I need to do this, I need to do this, those standards are so high. And like you said, the baby doesn't know.
It's true.
The baby just wants to be loved, to be cuddled, their diapers changed, you
And
know,
to be fed.
to be fed.
And they're fine.
And they are fine.
Yeah.
They are fine. I mean, Gia would not care whether your hair is done, you have a full face of makeup. She really does not care.
If I've taken a shower.
You've taken a shower.
Whether it's a studio or it's at home.
No, she really does not care.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the things, and I'm like, if I was to have a baby now, I think I would I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what is more important.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
It's showing up for my baby, not for that person who's come to see the baby.
Or whatever the people out there are saying, you know,
yes.
about you and your babies, and you know. You know.
Exactly, yeah.
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 How has it been for you?
As people count and tell you, you had a baby, you had a you're thinking, yeah, it's okay. It's well, even me, I'm with you, you know. And you just want to tell people, as my mom says, children are not counted. Because if we start counting them, now you're thinking, yeah, by the way.
Nahi economy.
Yeah. So you even feel like you've had 17 children in a span of so long, you know. So it's just to embrace, you know, each child with their own personality differently and embrace you. You know, once you're done with the first one, the second one is here. Yeah.
It's okay. She just woke up and saw all of us and the lights and all that.
So it's just, every child is unique. Every pregnancy is unique, you know. Yeah, every walk you have. I believe with your first, it's not the same with your fourth, you know.
It's true.
You're telling yourself, there are things that I've learned. I've grown a bit more, you know. And
Yeah.
I know our time is running out, but I'm very curious, since you have, you know, these 4 kids and, you know, all of them need attention.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? You know, because you said even at some point you're pregnant and breastfeeding, but the 5-year-old needs that attention, and it's so easy to focus on the newborn. And I guess for you the same thing with the twins, and there's another child who's like, hello, I'm still here. How do you manage that? How do you manage that, you know, like being there for all these other 3, and there's Gia who's gotten her moment of fame, and the others will be like, and me? I know.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that, and how has that been for you guys?
For me, it's been just finding what, for example, Kayo is good at. Kayo loves drawing. So I intentionally tell myself, we shall draw.
Okay.
Amaya wants to color. So let's draw and color, so that she also feels Mommy is there.
Like she's part of it.
Yeah. Razi is finding her way into, she's 1, so she's thinking, what is this coloring business and drawing? But you want to include her, come sit in between. And so you just find little moments where you can include them in what you do, and finding what they like doing, and being that child. You have to go back and be the little child. You have to go back and be 5 years old.
Yeah.
You have to be 3 years old, 4 years old, because that way then you're able to associate with them. But again, you don't forget, I'm here to not only be your friend and be with you, you also remember I'm your mom. So there's also that point of telling yourself, okay, my back cannot take it anymore, and tell them, can Mommy take 5 minutes break and be back? Yeah, so for me, that is what has worked, you know.
Okay.
Just trying to find little spaces, little moments to spend with them, yeah. And just many times, if you don't have that little moment, you know. For the mom who's wondering, I have to go to work, I don't have a nanny, I have to drop my child at daycare or leave them with somebody, just hugging them continuously through and through.
Yeah.
They feel the
love.
presence.
Yeah, that's true. That's very encouraging. And we need to wind up. So in a few words, you know, just think through your entire journey as a mom. What would you tell that mom that you're seeing? You know, like you yourself, when you look back to your X number of years, maybe 5-6 years of being a mother, and you as well, what would you, like if you went back in time, you know, the same way you tell your younger self, what would you encourage yourself with? What would you tell yourself to encourage yourself?
I think have grace.
Yeah.
Enjoy every season. They change. Not only do they grow, they change so quickly. Every year something new comes up, a new personality trait. Enjoy it. And also just knowing that I think I need to encourage you can do it.
Yeah.
It feels very overwhelming. The task is daunting when you're looking at what the world is doing. But you can do it.
Yeah.
You have everything that it takes to do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. Have grace, like Shiro said, for the difficult days. Please celebrate yourself for the good days. They've reached one. Yay for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's our birthday. It's not just yours.
Yeah. Yes, trust me, it's the parents'
It's our birthday.
Yes.
So I celebrate 1 year. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just celebrate the wins, and you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. And you, Shiro?
Love yourself. Love the mistakes you make, because they make you so much better and so much wiser. You know, pat yourself on the back, even when no one else is cheering you on. For the corporate woman who's sitting in her desk and everyone's asking, you don't make time for your children? You're doing it because in sitting in that desk, you've chosen, you know, to be there for your child in that way, because we don't know the circumstance. You're doing well, you know, and you're not missing anything, you know. Take as many photos, take as many videos, because then that way you encourage yourself. I've not lost anything, you know. To the mom who's wondering, I'm having so much drama in my family, you're doing well. Yeah. Because when your child is happy and asleep and they're thinking, we've had a good day, even when you know, well, the chapters I have given today, and you hate yourself for it, you're actually bringing up a star.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Wow. You know, you've just spoken that and reminded me of the other day where my kids were hanging out with other kids. Then, you know, all the other kids, like, were so chilled, and my sons, you know, are, like I was saying, are typical boys, you know, they want to find exciting things, jump from one place to the other. So on the way home, I was like, why couldn't you guys just have been like the other kids and just sit and talk? And my firstborn, you know, he's like, you know, he's like a 40-year-old in an 8-year-old's body. He's like, why are you comparing us with them? He's like, Mommy, you're the one who's always telling us that's their family and us guys belong to this family. Wow. And I was like, and I could hardly sleep that night. I couldn't wait for morning to come for me to tell him I'm sorry, and just tell him I'm sorry I made that mistake. I compared you with somebody else. And, you know, it took time for me to deal with that, but I love that you said that we just, you know, the mistakes could happen, you know, but we just dust ourselves and try again the next day, because we're the ideal moms for these children.
For your child.
And that's why God, you know, assigned them to our homes, assigned them to us. Thank you so much for encouraging. I know so many mothers are encouraged. Those who are starting out, those who are on number 4 or 8, you know, are also getting encouraged to love themselves, to enjoy every moment. And just be, you know, present in that moment. That's one of my regrets with my first child, you know, where I just felt I wasn't like there, you know, because I was looking out for the next milestone. So when I meet the other moms where we're all having kids, I can say, yeah, my child said mama and dada. Yours just said dada. Okay. I am 2 steps ahead. You know, and just to chill and just be present. And I love the verse in the Bible that says that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. You know, and to just be able to surrender what's difficult for us as well, and just know that we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. Whether it's a normal normal vaginal birth or CS, we can still do all things through Christ who gives us strength. This has been She. I have totally loved doing this show. Gia, thank you for joining us. She has been so great on this show. I hope we've been able to focus and enjoy and not just focus on Gia. But thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for walking this journey as we walk this season of pregnancy and motherhood. I hope you're learning and I hope you're helping somebody else. Until next week, God bless you so much and enjoy every season and be present. Whatever is happening, be present and know God is with you and He's present helping you in that season. God bless you. See you next week.